What is up, guys? Protobro here, infamous brother to Mega Bro, and what I'm going to show you on this episode is essentially what to do with China after you conquer it as Japan. The reason I'm doing this video is it's quite honestly, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it for the longest time, and then once I kind of figured out what I wanted to do, the mechanics in Black Ice made it a little confusing on how I could actually get there doing it. So I eventually figured it out, but it was definitely not intuitive. So I figured before I actually show you what I want to do here, I'm going to kind of give you an explanation of the difference between just keeping the annexed territories here like we have here, or your different puppet options. It really just comes down to the flavor of the game, what you're shooting, what you're looking for. I'm not going to say that there is a right way to do it. There's certainly not a right way. There's different options available, and all of them have different pros, cons, different advantages they give you to the game. And it's really just kind of what you're looking to accomplish here. So I'm trying to go for more of the roleplay approach, so that's what you're going to see me doing. And as a consequence, I'm going to take a hit on a couple of the advantages to the annexed here. But first, your first option is really to keep everything just like this. Alright, so keep everything annexed. So as you can see here, we've got all of Republic of China here. We've got Manchuria up here. And the advantage to this is I think that the primary advantage is going to be you're going to maintain your industrial capacity. So right now it's 274. This is going to take a pretty significant hit if we puppet parts or if not all of China. And so obviously the lower this is, the less carriers we can build, the less close air support. These guys are pretty expensive, 16 for one CAG that go on these carriers. So that's going to take a hit. Also, as far as maintaining control over your annexed territories, you're going to have a lot of partisan revolts, so like we have right here, for example. But I'd really say, like, in terms of the overall analysis, don't even worry about it. It's really easy to control. I'd say up here we can maintain control of this area with 3 cavalry divisions, which you just kind of move around. They take out the partisans pretty quick. And so here we'd probably have maybe like 8 spread around. And then for my ports, I'd probably put military police units here and just hold the ports. So really not much of a drain or expense as far as manpower is concerned to maintain control of these areas. So I would not worry about that. But I would say that the areas that you have currently annexed, you do take a hit in terms of your efficiency utilizing the resources that are available. So for example here, these areas here, we're just not going to be as efficient with this industry as a puppeted government would be. And then also we're not going to be as efficient with these. So see, non-core minus 15% for that, and then minus 15%. So what core means is just like Japan has a territorial right under international law to own that territory. It's Japanese territory as far as the Japanese are concerned. So if they control that territory, kind of like over here, you're not going to take a hit. Let's see here. I'll show you just real quick here. Sorry, I should have had this pulled up for you. So like here, what you're going to see is it's going to rebuild. We just got it annexed, so it's going to take some time to rebuild back up. But let's see if I have one here. Just want to give you guys an illustration. There we go. So this is non-core also, so never mind on that. But there's probably some territory here, maybe up here in Manchukuo, where it's a core territory. Perfect example. Boom. So it's green, right? We're not taking the hit. But we're going to take a hit in all these areas down here if we maintain it annexed, right? So that's your first option, is to have it all annexed, get the industrial capacity bonus, take a hit on the efficiency of the natural resources that you're pulling from here, including manpower. You also take a little bit of hit on the manpower. But overall, you've got 516 provinces here that you have annexed, and so obviously you're going to derive a significant benefit from that. Now, option 2. Option 2 is pretty extreme. I'd say so option 1 is annexing. This next option you're going to see is on the complete opposite side of the spectrum in terms of what to do, alright? So if you go to create puppet and do Republic of China, you will create the Republic of China, including Manchuria and Taiwan. So if you recall from the beginning of the game, we controlled Taiwan. That was one of our countries. It was one of our core provinces, and so we were receiving a full benefit from the resources there. And we had Manchuria, which we had annexed. Republic of China gets all this. So what does that mean? I'll tell you in a second. Let's fast forward here, and I can tell you. So notice all this is red. Alright. First and foremost, taking this again, the opposite side of the coin in terms of the annex. We're doing the full-on puppeting. You're going to lose these two effects, which are pretty considerable. 15% of the supply throughput, plus you're losing that resource efficiency. So you're losing basically 5% total on resource efficiency and 20% on supply throughput. So that's pretty significant. The Taiwan Strait's right in here. So obviously you're losing this, and that's why you're losing that. And then the what's that? Chile Gulf? I don't know. Chile. Let's call it Chile. Which I think is down in this area here. So those are the two major impacts of doing all this. And then also, look at this. We went from 241 to 197. Pretty considerable drop on your industrial capacity. So you may ask, why the hell would I want to do this option? Well, one, consumer goods is down from 38 down to 27, so that's a pretty big drop. Also, your upgrades and all this stuff, these all kind of drop down. So it's not full on, you know, you do lose the industrial capacity, but there's a little bit of an adjustment here. I'd say not enough just on the industrial capacity piece to make it worth it, but there is that. But you do receive bonuses up here. So for example, we were losing 188 energy, now we're only losing 5. So it's a big jump, right? So because Republic of China is so much more efficient with their resources, and because they're a puppet of us, they're giving us a lot of their resources. So now we've got a bonus there. We are getting, let's see here, even though we don't need it because we had a boatload of steel. I want to say it's an extra 100 a day from steel. We're getting, instead of negative 16 raw, we're getting now 27 plus in the raw category. And then oil remains, so oil dropped a little bit. It's down to 41 instead of 44. So, and then the manpower, we dropped a little bit. Actually, we gained. All right, so we went from 9.2 to 12.8 on the monthly gain. So anyone that says you take a hit on manpower, keeping it annexed, are wrong, at least under the Black Ice model of the game. We actually went up. We went up 3 manpower from doing this option here. So again, you're going to lose out on the industrial capacity pretty significantly. And you're going to lose out on those 2 big bonuses you get from having these areas here. So what, 5% on the research and 20% on the supply throughput, which is pretty considerable. But you do gain out pretty heavily on the resources here. So if you're hurting for resources, that's definitely an option. And then the manpower is big. So I can tell you from Japan, manpower is huge. You take a real big hit, especially when you're at war with the allies. Any kind of bonus you can get to manpower is big. So I would definitely not rule out this option. Yeah, it sucks. You know, it's not orange, but grand scheme of things, they're still your allies, which I will show you. Oh, right. So this is still green. Not quite sure why they're blue. Oh, they're in a war, but they're our allies. So that's option 2. Alright, so I showed you one extreme, which is the Annex. I showed you the other extreme, which is just a full-on puppet where Republic of China gets everything. The last 2 options I'm going to show you, so obviously I'm showing you 4, are going to be kind of middle of the road. And they're 2 kind of different approaches to do it. One, I'm going to show you the one that I'm going to do, and then I'm also going to show you the other option available that I think is kind of middle of the road. So how do we accomplish that? And this is where I think it gets a little complicated and why I think this video is helpful, because it's not intuitive, is if you want to kind of go middle of the road, then you got 2 options here. So you can do create, if you go under the diplomacy tab and you go to Republic of China Nanjing, which I kept this available throughout my battles or my war with China. I didn't actually trigger this, so that might be, this option may not be available to you. I don't know. But if you go here, if you tick there, you see let's create the regime. And this is historically what the Chinese were trying to do, in my opinion. They were trying to set up this Republic of Nanjing. They get this here. So they have all this territory here. And then what you can do is you can then go and that last option is what I want to do. Do this. And then what you can do is you can create Manchukuo, and then you can create Republic of China. Or you can just do Republic of China. So if you do Manchukuo, it's going to create a puppet state up here, and then Republic of China will have its own puppet state. Or you can leave things like this. Right? So the one advantage here is that you have less territory you have to worry about maintaining, which again, I wouldn't use that as your driving force in terms of deciding what to do. So I'd say this is, kind of towards a line of, fully puppeting this entire area, which is the option I'm showing you. So let's just say we're just going to do Republic of China, right? then here's the results you have is like this here, right? And you'll still get the same consequence in terms of losing those bonuses to the supply throughput and the research, but you do have less territory that you have to maintain. And you know, I'd say one thing is, you know, if you're worried for whatever reason that Republic of China is going to turn on you at any point, which is something I don't think you need to be worried about, but you know, this is just kind of one way to do it. You break them up into two different regions with this kind of as a buffer between. So, you know, if you want to do some role playing, that's definitely something that would have been an option available to the Japanese back in the late 30s or early 40s, whenever they would have forced the Chinese to subjugate. Would have been able to accomplish this, where you have like one government here and then have them buffered between those two. So how we did that again was we went to the diplomacy tab, we triggered the Nanqing option, created this here, and then we went and puppeted. Alright, and I would say before that, before I move on to this final option, the one that we're going to actually utilize in our playthrough, one of the advantages to having Nanjing there and then having China split up is the more puppets that you have under your control. I think at some point there's certain tiers. So currently we're getting a plus 2.5 bonus. So for example, you can see here to being a regional puppet master. I believe that you can stack that. So once we get so many more puppets, then that'll stack up to like 5% and so forth. So there's definitely an incentive to have as many puppets as possible. So you may want to go Nanjing here, Republic of China here, and Manchuria there. You know, you may want to create Manchukuo as well to get that regional effect. You know, assuming you conquer other countries. But the last option, which is the one that we're going to utilize, and I think this is the most historically accurate in terms of what probably would have happened had the Japanese, you know, kind of gotten to this point here, is we would have done a couple things. So first, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the diplomacy tab. You're going to want to go Republic of China Nanjing. That's step one. So now we have this here. Okay. Next step is what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go Annex Chinese coasts. Alright. So what that's going to do is going to give us all this coastal area, which will maintain most of the bonuses that we currently have from having the coast, which you saw that we lost when we gave up the entire area to the Republic of China. So now we've got here, down to here, and then this area here is Nanjing. Next step, we're going to want to go declare war on Tibet, because we're going to want to go to war with Tibet. That's important to do this now, because you have to border Tibet in order to declare war on them, which we currently do. And then finally, we're going to want to give Chinese territory to the Republic of China Nanjing. And there you go. So now we control all the coast, all the way up to Nanjing. We haven't lost Manchukuo. But we've also given this territory to the Republic of China Nanjing. And I think this would have been historically accurate with how the Japanese would have actually done this. I think they would have maintained the coast areas, had a little bit of territory that they're going to have to watch over. But for the most part, they would have created a puppet government here, with its capital being, did they get Nanjing? I think they took Nanjing, right? Ah, look at that. Kept it. Actually kind of makes sense. But they would have given the Republic of China Nanjing here, and would have kept this territory up here. So that's how we're going to actually play the game, is like this. But I just wanted to show you the different advantages to doing it. I don't know in terms of the effects up here how significant it is. Let's see here. We actually get a monthly gain higher. That's interesting. So we actually get a higher monthly gain here with manpower, I think, than here. But so I'm just going to play for you here, just play through and just show you some of the effects real quick of this last option, which is what we're going to roll with. Okay. So we're no longer neutral by doing this. So we were getting all those bonuses, but now we're losing them, I guess? I don't know. Whatever. Oh, that's because we annexed here, so that's why. Oh, sure. Whatever. Alright, so we actually have a higher monthly gain from this. So we've got 17, which originally it was 9.2. We're losing 108. Previously we were losing 188. We actually have a little bit of a, a little bit of a rise. I want to say about 50 rise in steel. We were losing 16 raw, now we're getting 2.58. We were losing just a little bit of oil, so it was 44, now it's 43.50. And then our industrial capacity is 247. So we didn't lose any industrial capacity with this process. So there you have it. That's how those are your different options associated with what you can do with China. You've seen kind of the pros and cons of doing all of it. It seems to me, me being a bias that I am, that this option seems to be the best. One, I think it's the most historically accurate. Two, I think it greatly benefits the Japanese in terms of this manpower gain. It almost doubles it. You also don't have to worry about this territory. The puppet government's going to handle this. And it still allows you to take out Tibet, which gives you a northern entrance into India if you so choose. Which, as you'll see in our Let's Play, we're going to utilize that a little bit. And we maintain control of Taiwan. So we get the straight bonus and we get this bonus down here. So, alright, as always guys, I really appreciate your time watching this. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section. Otherwise, please check out Let's Play as we continue our global domination, hopefully, of the world utilizing Japan.